Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Drawing with Michael. Michael Clardo Arts. It is a wonderful Wednesday. Oh my. Wednesday. I have to look at the screen. Okay, so Wednesday. I love Wednesday. Actually, I don't. Tuesday is my least favorite. I always said whenever I used to work in the studio, I said Monday is just a wash because you don't know what happened over the weekend. Most people are dragging in. You really don't get a lot of work done. Tuesday is a solid work day because you've recuperated from the weekend and you're in there, you're ready to conquer the world. Tuesday's the best work day. And then Wednesday, you kind of like, I've been here for 3 days, I'm not really feeling it. So Wednesday's kind of like the hump day. You got to get over the hump. Let me get over the hump. Then I can look at the weekend. And then Thursday is like Friday Eve. Thursday, you're in there. You're like, okay, let's get some work done. Let's get Friday here. Friday's time. It's Friday. And then Friday comes and you're like, Friday morning, maybe until 11 o'clock. You're working till 11, and then you're like, it's Friday. I'm going to coast until 5. And then Friday, of course, Friday's Friday, and then the weekend starts basically at noon. So Tuesday is pretty much the only work day that you're going to get in without any distractions. But today being Wednesday, of course, is hump day. And yesterday I did a video, posted 2 videos actually. One video about drawing cartoon faces, which is always fun. Love drawing cartoon faces. As a warm-up, you guys know I love doing warm-ups. I highly recommend them. And I posted a video about going to the Van Gogh experience. So today, we're going to do a short video about, again, drawing faces, but we're going to be drawing expressions. And what is the root of drawing expressions in faces? We're going to get a little bit into that. There's no time lapse. I kind of go into the minutia. That's a big word. The minutia of what it takes to get expression in your character faces. And hopefully you guys, it's not as hard as you think. It's basically in your brain, you're thinking, oh, they're so complex, this and that. No, there are certain easy reads that you can set up in your mind as visual cues to help you traverse this wonderful world of cartooning / illustration and character design. So hop on board and let's enjoy the process. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with today. So working on Bristol board again, using the Progresso Kohinoor pencil. Actually, it's Kohinoor Progresso woodless colored pencil. I like using these because they don't smear. The downfall, or the kind of other side to the equation of that, is the fact that they don't erase. So if you're going to do anything illustration-wise and you need to erase your line, then don't use this pencil. Prismacolor, this is very akin to Prismacolor. Prisma is really good, but they're a little bit softer. And I found that after using them a lot, they get a little bit of debris on my hand, and I don't like that too much. So what we're doing today is we're going to do some expressions. Expressions of faces. You guys know that I love doing warm-ups. I love doing faces in general. And, understanding and being able to illustrate expressions in your work is very important. And what that takes is basically, a lot of practice. I, early on, had some real, I would say, kind of issues with expressions because they're hard. I mean, let's be honest. Expressions are hard, especially, if you're trying to convey a sense of emotion. And it really takes, practice and understanding, exactly what you're doing and what you're looking at. So I posted a video about my outing with my family to YouTube. We went to Atlanta over the holidays, and we went to the Vincent Van Gogh experience, and it got quite a few positive feedbacks, which is really awesome. I was really kind of trepidatious about doing a video like that, just because, you know, I know some people don't get the opportunities, and this is really a drawing channel, and I want to make sure that, you know, everybody is, you know, quote unquote happy. You know, I'm not too much a people pleaser. It's not one of those deals, but I want to make sure that, you know, you come to my channel for an expectation and you get what you were looking for. So hopefully you guys, if you haven't seen the video, go ahead and look through my list. I posted it yesterday. It's, you know, just a simple outing. And I thought about doing a few more of those things here and there. And that's, if that's something that, you know, you guys think would be pretty cool, then I will definitely do more of that. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just giving like a roadmap. Very simple, simple character face. You know, this particular one is got its mouth open. She's opening her mouth. Got her tongue out. What I'm doing right now is, again, just trying to get some of the elements in so I can start kind of concentrating on the details. You want to put in the really rough stuff first before you get into all the details, the minutiae of the details. Okay. These are really pronounced. This goes all the way down. When it comes to faces, the easy read is always the best. So obviously smiles. I mean, it's kind of rudimentary whenever you think about it. Try to get a piece of paper. I'm an artist. Where's all my paper? Children have been inside of my studio taking all my stuff. I just going to do the back of this for now. So we've all seen this. I mean, this is pretty simple here. Happy. Mad. Sad. It's kind of weird, you know. Surprised. Stuff like this, believe it or not, stuff like this, we always go back to this, but it's whenever you get down to the basics, that's kind of what it is. You're trying to emulate very easy to read expressions. And if you keep it at that and you don't try to overcomplicate things, then I think that, you know, you'll have great success in the lexicon of the world of arts. Okay. Again, just a simple little drawing. I'm gonna have the pooch right here. I call it pooch because the pooch, the skin, the way the skin works is whenever you stretch it, right? The stretch and squash, that's a principle of animation. And then whenever you squash it, it pushes out. So the nose will go up this way, right? You'll squint your eyes, and what that does is it draws all of these elements in. And you have the cheeks that'll go up like this, which is covered by the hair. And then you'll have that nose that kind of divots down. And then here's where the pooch happens. The eyes. And then those furrowed brows come down. And we get this hair. It comes like this. And that neck. And you see I've measured, I'll do stuff like this to kind of give you a proportion. Give myself a proportion. And it draws up, and then you have these kind of scrunches up here. eyes are shut. A little bit of mascara. Another thing with these pencils, I'm here. I'm choked back. Choked back meaning I moved my hand further back on the barrel. The problem is, since it has no wood, all the pressure I'm putting on the pencil is right here. And that's a weak point in the pencil because, again, it doesn't have any wood to support it. So my recommendation is, if you're going to use these, go further down on the barrel. And I choke back to see what I'm drawing. See, now if I go down here, it's blocking this entire area, so it doesn't give my brain an opportunity to kind of fill in the spaces. So if you're going to choke back like this, don't draw so stinking hard like me. Because what inadvertently happens is you're drawing, and you're like, oh, this is the best pencil in the world, I love it, and then suddenly it breaks like a piece of twig. And that is not good. So, yeah, just take your time. Okay. Just a little pro tip for you guys as you're learning how to draw. And you got these little wrinkles that come around. And this comes down right there. And that jaw comes here. The jaw is much wider than you think because it comes out and it's around here. It's hidden behind the hair. Okay, so that's that one. Let's have a little piece of hair that comes down. There you go, something fun. Okay, gotta watch my chair so I don't hit my camera. Let's move this over. Gotta move it over here. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit closer to you guys. Same basic face. Now I'm going to do something a little bit more expression, kind of like cheeky, kind of like... Okay, so again, you know, I start out with a basic shape. And right now, I'm not thinking details. I'm not thinking, oh, I need to put the eyes in, I need to put the nose in, everything needs to be perfect. I'm not thinking of that at all. I'm thinking character. And doesn't that sound kind of counterintuitive? It does to me. It sounds like I need to be thinking about details, but I don't. I need to be thinking about character. Character being, what is the character of the piece? How am I going to illustrate it? And even now, I find myself going back to the other drawing just to occupy my brain. You know, I talked about that in my last video and how your brain wants to do certain things, but you need to kind of play tricks on it. It's like you're fighting with yourself. I don't know if you can relate to that, but my brain fights with itself continually. It wants to do certain things, but I have to override. It's like whenever you exercise. If any of you guys exercise, which I do, I'm a cyclist. There are certain times in my cycle, whenever I'm bicycling, that my brain says, hey, aren't we a little tired? Shouldn't we stop? And that's pretty much what happens whenever I'm drawing. It's like, hey, that eye doesn't look right. Something's going on here. Something doesn't gel right. So what I do, instead of focusing on the details and the placement of the things, I think about the character. What is the character? So I'm going to have kind of like a cheeky smile. So that's what I'm going to focus on. You know, we went back. I'm going to go back here for a second to these. This is very simple, right? This is where you want to land in your brain as a basis, as a foundation. You know, we always talk about on my channel, foundation. You go back to the beginning. Vicenia said to go back to the beginning, so I'm going back to the beginning. That is a quote from Princess Bride from Inigo Montoya. But that's the thing. You go back to the beginning, and whenever you simplify things, your brain doesn't have the opportunity to muck it up. So that's what I'm looking for. So basically, I start out with this. This seems so just ridiculous, doesn't it? And then you go here, and since I'm kind of drawing the same basic face, then I have the placement of the nose, and now what I want to do is, again, I am doing the basics. I'm just basically drawing in those simple shapes that read easy. Isn't it kind of weird that this is, you know, it's going to be complex, but whenever you simplify things, you know, in a way that allows our brain to kind of process it, then it doesn't have the opportunity to get in the way, right? Okay, so let's get the hair. Okay, so now I can concentrate on what? On the details. So there are anchor things, there are anchor places or anchor items on the face that you want to put in so you can put other items in so they quote unquote have the correct proportion. The nose is one of them. So I will typically do the nose because then I can place the eyes, and then I can place the placement of the mouth, and then I can adjust the forehead, and I can do the size of the eye. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to go ahead and place in the eye. And since she's smiling, if you look in a mirror and you smile to the right hand side and you have this muscle right here pull in this direction, that direction, it's going to actually pull your nose over slightly. So I know that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and pull that nose slightly over. See? And it affects everything. Now I can put in, and if you notice, I don't go in and start doing this. I never do that. Because I know that inadvertently what will happen if I put that final line in, then I'll have to change it. So I'm not going to do that. Okay. It's got this here, and you got that brow that's kind of straight like that. All right. And two, you know, whenever you have that anchor right there, now I can place things in different places correctly. And whenever it comes to faces, there are certain things in my brain that I can't stress this enough. Little visual cues that help me build my piece of artwork, build my face, build my character. You know, like the outside of the nostrils are in line with the inside of the eye. This right here, the curl or the corner of the mouth, is typically right in line with the pupil. So all these little details that I'm remembering in my brain, and it's like the center part of the eye is just below the very top of the ear. So then I have the placement of the top of the ear, right? The distance between the bottom of the nose and the top of the lip is going to be the distance of one eye at regular rest, not fully wide open. So these things that help me traverse, navigate the face really gives me that edge whenever I'm working on things. So here's that beginning of the eye. So this eye is closed. And again, it's kind of like this, kind of goes around. And here's the inside of that. Trying to think really quick here. My apologies for not talking. Okay, so now, even though this soft tissue has moved over, the skull stays the same. That is the rigid part of your being that really doesn't change. So I know there's an underlying structure here. I need to make sure that it's there. Okay, so we have that lip, comes here. We've got these teeth that come down, the choppers. Again, the choppers do not move because they're part of what? They're part of the skull. And a lot of people get in and draw every single tooth. I don't. Less is more. A lot of times you just put an indication here and there, and you'll be fine. See, less is more. And then we have the bottom that comes around. bottom button needs to be a little bit fuller. And here is that chin. Again, there's a rigid part, so we're going to have this muscle group come around. And there's not so much of a pull here because it's pulling to the left-hand side. Okay. A little bit of pulling. There. Now I can feel it a little bit better. It is one of those interesting anomalies. I'm going to go up. We're going to, here's the brow. Here's the curve. Up, over, under. That eye comes here. Because remember, we're not illustrating, how do I put it? I'm still in character. I'm still thinking character. I'm still thinking how, you know, what's the easy read? Here's the eyelash. What's the easy read? Here's the eyelash again. Right? Here's that hair that comes down. And here's the thing. You can draw through. Draw through means to go ahead and draw that. Here's the jawline right here. And it does help. But if your mind's eye, you know, your mind's eye, the way that you see things, can envision those things already there, you don't have to draw through. Okay, so let's go ahead and have this up. Have this up. Just got some eye makeup on. Again, over here. Okay. Seems a little macabre, but I don't care. It's doing its job, man. Quit complaining. Here's the jaw reference. There is the hair that comes down. Once again, let's go ahead and draw that eye in. The iris, which is the color part, typically will fill up much more than what you think. And then there's the pupil. Again, we're right in line. A little bit of eye shine in there. Then we're going to color that in, shade that in. And again, we're shading that in, shading that in. Really simple. Okay, here's this. And so that eye, how big it is, it's probably the actual eyeball is like that big. So there's soft tissue here. Here's the skull underneath, right? Typically it's 5 eyes wide. So 1, 2, so there's the outside right there. 1, so 1, 2, 3. There's the inside of that. 4, 5. Okay, there's the ear right here, which we're not going to show. So now we can actually show the hair that comes down. We're going to have that come here. Cover this up. Come around. Have that here. You can see this is more of a caricature of it as opposed to realism. As I come back, putting in some of those items. You see, this one looks a little bit different because I took more time to explain and position things correctly, whereas this other one over here on the left-hand side is more of a caricature. Okay. All right, so this looks pretty good. She's like, yeah. All righty. This goes up a little. Because you get that kind of the skin's pulled. She's kind of giving that wink. Let's give her some thicker eyebrows. And some shading here and there. Do a little bit to show that wrinkle there. Because it's underneath. Okay. I hesitate to say that it's a formula, but it kind of, you know, everything is different, you know, especially if you're drawing realistically, if you're pushing and pulling. And that's the thing with cartoons and, you know, creating characters is, you know, what is the main focus of the character? What does the character do? Who is the character? You know, where do they come from? Let's give her some freckles. She's a cutie. There ain't nothing better than a girl with some freckles. Right? A little bit more eye makeup on this one. Eyes are closed. There we go. Just wanted to show you guys kind of that methodology of how to create expression in your faces. And, you know, always thinking it's going to have this down a little bit. It's going to be like that. What is the easy read? What is the, let's get a little beauty mark. Beauty mark. Freckles. You know, and as we progress, as artists and illustrators, you start seeing nuance. So then you can kind of you compare and contrast, but you can combine certain aspects of your expression to be a little bit more, I don't know, nuancy. But as a rule of thumb, you don't want to make things over complex. You want to be an easy read. Happy, sad, mad, surprised, glad. And then you get into things like pride, prideful, you know, all of the things that let's do this. A little bit of shadowing here and there. There we go. And that's where I wanted to land with you guys today, just to show you drawing faces doesn't have to be a huge, massive ordeal. It can be something fun. And believe me, the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And the more you can really explain things in such a way that not only you understand them better, but you can verbalize them. You know, that's one of the things as a professional artist that I need to be able to do, is to verbalize and explain why I did something, how I did something, and overall, you know, explain it to a person that doesn't really understand the art. You know, maybe they're developing an idea they had. Maybe maybe it's an art director that, you know, is a moron. Just kidding. All art directors are wonderful. They're just so special. They know everything. They're like insanity good. It depends on the art director. It depends on their background. It depends on who they are. I've had art directors that basically are the children of the business owner, and the owner's like, just be the art director. And then, you know, they get in there and they start verbalizing things in ways that doesn't make sense. I mean, have you ever had somebody tell you to make something look awesome? Or that color's really cool. Can you try more cool colors? You know, not cool being temperature, like awesome cool. They tend to, you know, non-artsy fartsies tend to verbalize things in such a way that have to deal primarily in emotion, because art is an emotive, you know, expression, right? That made me feel something. How does that make me feel? And that's what they're going on. You know, they think something looks awesome when they can't really explain. So I always pissed art directors off, and I would say, so what makes it look awesome? And it would stumble them. They'd be like, I don't know. It's just awesome. So, you know, or what makes it look super cool? I have no idea, because they don't understand the language it takes to explain what makes a piece look good or bad or complex, or what emotion, why am I feeling this? So I'm always interested in asking some of those why questions. So that's what I wanted to show you guys today, just a simple warm-up of faces. Don't worry, we'll get away from the faces soon. But this is some of the foundation things that, you know, we as artists, we always want to get to the meat, the potatoes, but we're not interested in the vegetables. This is the vegetables, right? The vegetables are kind of the basis and the fiber you need to kind of combine with those meats to not make you all bloaty and nasty. You want that goodness. You want to understand why, and you know, getting the foundation is part of understanding the why. The foundation is the key. You know, I remember, gosh, so many times I'm just like, I don't care about all this crap. I don't need to know how a bone fits into an arm socket. But that's a foundation item of learning anatomy and, you know, learning balance and learning all of those things. And I think that if we sit down, we take the time, you know, and understand the why, then we'll get to the other side. And then suddenly we realize that that's what really is important, is, you know, the foundation. So please like and subscribe if you like what you see. Please share the video. Lots going on all the time. Trying to do a lot of things at once and get to that 10,000 subscriber mark so we can, you know, start having some real fun. Man, what awesome would it be if eventually I had the ability to do this all the time, right? You know, and balance it with you know, balance it with my professional career, because my professional career is primary. YouTube is always going to be secondary, because I want to make sure and not put all my eggs in one basket. You know, you don't put all your proverbial eggs in one basket, and YouTube is supplemental. But like I had said before, if I can make sure and get you guys something good, then maybe you'll stick around. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.